And that brings me to something else that isn't in this bill, and it's an issue that comes up frequently in my riding. It's an issue that I've talked about with the Minister of Transportation privately and told her that, and I don't mind saying it in the House, if there was something that I could do to help, I'd be happy to. And I remember telling her, as long as you don't throw some kind of poison pill in it. Well, there's no poison pill in this bill, but there is something missing. We have a lot of people operating trucks in this country who are not adequately trained. Who are not adequately trained. And at the start of my speech, I talked about every time it snows, there's trucks in the ditch. And that's because they're not adequately trained. There's a shortage of truck drivers in this country, in this province. Truck driving is not an easy job. You're away from your family, but when you're barreling down the highway with 40 tons in a trailer, you have to know how long it takes to stop. You have to know, and I can see when they come over that hill, Thibeault Hill in North Bay, and all of a sudden you're down to 2 lanes, and there's a bit of snow on the road, that your world changes. And I say it's a lack of training or a lack of understanding of the conditions in all parts of the province, in all parts of the country, because I don't see it here. I drive around here and I don't see trucks in the ditch everywhere. I don't. But at home, on rural roads, we see it a lot. We see it a lot. And I personally have had a couple of really, really close calls, and my wife has, and those people driving the trucks, I'm sure their heart was in their throat too after it happened. And there's something we need to look at. Better training, stricter enforcement, stricter licenses. And I would like to read something from the Auditor General's report from 2019, something that could have been addressed in this bill. And I think it probably might explain part of the problem. The ministry allows some carriers with a poor history of collisions to test their own employees for commercial driver's licenses. The ministry approves colleges, government organizations, safety organizations, and private businesses, including carriers, to train and test drivers under the driver certification program. Carriers approved under the program can deliver and grade knowledge and road tests for their own drivers. We analyzed carriers that test their own drivers and that found that drivers who took their road test with carriers between 2014-2015 and 2018-19 had a pass rate of 95%, compared with just 69% at drive test centers. However, the ministry has not analyzed the difference to assess whether it is reasonable. We found that 25% of the 106 carriers testing their own drivers under the program ranked among the worst 1% of all carriers for at-fault collision performance. A jurisdiction scan by the ministry found that with the exception of a handful of carriers in 2 provinces, other Canadian provinces do not allow carriers to test their employees for commercial driver's licenses. Maybe that should have been, we should have discussed that in the bill. because people across, certainly Northern Ontario speaker, are frightened. And I'm sure the drivers are frightened as well, because some of the situations I see those trucks in, I go like, how did you get there? How did you get there? And they don't want to go there. They want to do their job. We all want to do our jobs. That's something missing. And hopefully the minister is going to come with something. But that's one that we need to address, because each time that the highway is closed, it costs millions of dollars. And each time there's an accident, and sometimes when they're fatal, that costs people their future. And we know what's happening. We know it. So if it means that we have to have better testing, better training, better something. A stunt driver is someone who takes a car and willingly goes 50, 100 kilometers. Like some of these speeds are just like unfathomable. That's a stunt driver. What do you call someone who puts an untrained driver in a 50-ton vehicle and sends them on an ice-covered road in Northern Ontario where they have never been before in their lives? What do you call that person? What do you call that person? And who does it over and over and over and over again? It's not the person on the truck. The person on the truck, and some of them are immigrants. My family were immigrants. And when my father came over, he did anything that he could to make his life better. And that's what those people are doing on those trucks. And I don't blame them a bit. But the people who are letting them drive those trucks without the training, and the fact that we're letting them drive those trucks without the testing, that's something should have been in this bill. If you're really serious, and we can always make things better, not saying that we can't, and that could be coming in the next one. And I hope it does. Because we've driven past too many of those accidents. So, are there good things in this bill? Yes. Should there have been more? Definitely. Is it good that we're having the opportunity to speak about it? Yes. Should we have been talking about something else today? I'd say so. I'd still say, if it was my job to pick, we would have been discussing how to get paid sick days to people who are going to work. And those people are, just like those people in those trucks, they're risking everything. They're risking everything to feed their family, to make their lives better. And I commend them for it. And we know what they're risking. Just like those people in those trucks. They're risking everything. And we know what they're risking. And yet, to date, this government is not addressing either one of those problems. And that is a serious philosophical difference with the two of us. And with that, I will conclude my remarks. Thank you.